What is up, everybody? My name is Justin French, covering music for those who care, and right now I'm taking a look at the new album from Kamelot, this one entitled The Shadow Theory. Now, I'm pretty much going into this album almost completely blind because I've never heard a single Kamelot album. There are a couple of songs that I've heard from back in the day, like the track Liar Liar, which featured Alyssa White Gluz from Arch Enemy and The Agonist whenever she was in that band. And I have to say, I really enjoyed that track, especially with White Gluz's contributions to the track, just made it a bit better. And then I did a track review, or reaction review, of RavenLight, for those of you who wanted to see that video. And I have to say, I really dug that. It kind of reminded me a lot of like power metal and progressive kind of coming together, and vocally definitely did remind me a bit of Dream Theater. So pretty much going into the Shadow Theory almost completely blind with not knowing anything about this band's back catalog as to albums. So if anyone has a song or an album they want to recommend to me, definitely comment in the comment section down below, y'all. I'm always curious for new albums, singles, stuff like that. But anyways, what did I think of the Shadow Theory? Well, you know what? If this album, from the beginning, The Mission, all the way up until Ministratum, the last track on this album, didn't show great atmosphere, nice musicianship, and stellar vocal lines on this record, I don't know what did. I just kind of want to talk about the atmosphere on this record for just a few seconds because I love it. It honestly feels very, very dark musically, in my opinion. But at the same time, I don't know if it's just in the name or that's how their image shows, but it really feels like a fantasy, in my opinion. It feels like throughout this record, I'm kind of going through this fantasy throughout its 52-minute runtime. And I don't know why, if anyone else is getting this vibe, but it really feels dystopian, especially with that cover. Just take a moment to look at that. Just listening to the piano and the string section in the opening track, The Mission, which is only about almost a minute and 30 seconds, just really, really tells you what to expect from this thing, which kind of plays back into my thoughts on the atmosphere of this record. Very dark, almost kind of fantasy-laden, and feels very dystopian in my opinion. And I'm glad they didn't open this record up with just one of those average, very fast-paced, power, progressive, rock, metal kind of numbers, just because I'd feel like it just kind of be a bit generic in my opinion. So that song was a really, really nice intro into what to expect for the rest of the album. Now the band has a really, really nice balance on this record between more heavier cuts such as Vespertine, My Crimson Bride, RavenLight, and even Amnesiac. And at the same time, whenever they do ballads on some of the songs on here like Static and the Twilight Hours, they don't feel very watered down. They don't feel like anything you'd hear on the radio. They kind of have their nice twist on these slower songs, in my opinion. And the faster paced songs, I think, are well done too. Now, there are a couple guest features that are on the record, and I have to say, they don't really go without very well notice. I really love Jennifer Haven from Beyond the Black, which is a band I've never heard of, along with the other guests in that band, but I'm excited to kind of listen to them after listening to their contributions to this record. But she sings on the track in Twilight Hours, and I have to say, adding her with the vocalist to this band, which I'll get to in a second, really makes it very, very unique in my opinion. I just think the two have really, really nice chemistry vocally, and it's a really beautiful ballad and one of the standout moments on this album. Now, we can't forget about Miss Lauren Hart from the band Once Human, which is another band I never heard of, but I'll give them a shot after this review is done. But I will say though, I'm not as big to her contributions of this record as much as I was to Jennifer Haven's, just because I felt like they were just more of the screaming part of this record. But I mean, that's okay. I don't mind it at all, but I just don't feel it's as great as the chemistry on the track in Twilight Hours. Now, I know I said that I kind of wanted to talk about the vocalist for about a minute or maybe less than that. But anyways, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts on him for this record. Oh my god, the vocals on this thing are stellar. Tommy has an incredible range. Almost reminds me a bit of Dream Theater. I don't know why. Just listening to RavenLight from the first time just almost reminded me a bit of... I apologize for that. Now, it's not just the vocalist that I really love on this record. I just love the music side as a whole to this thing too. The guitars sound really, really progressive and heavy. I love the addition of the keyboards and really the orchestra that we hear a lot on this record. Even the drumming on here, I think they got a new drummer, if I'm not mistaken, on this record. And I have to say, he does a pretty nice job, in my opinion, throughout it. So overall, y'all, I am enjoying Kamelot's new record, The Shadow Theory. I just love the mix of progressive metal and even power metal, and blending those with more kind of orchestra and electronics. I mean, not like, you know, EDM or anything you hear on the pop station, but adding a bit of like keyboard electronics just really makes their sound very unique on this thing. I love the vocals. I really love the music side on here, and the atmosphere is just really great. I think the guest contributions for this record are pretty well done, although I do prefer Jennifer Haven over Lauren Hart, no offense, just I feel like the screams were just there to be there, if I'm not mistaken, but overall, just a really, really great album. If I had to give it a rating, I would say probably about a 9 out of 10, at least in my opinion. But anyways, y'all, what are your thoughts on The Shadow Theory? Definitely comment in the comment section down below. If you have a song you want to recommend or an album to me, definitely comment in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely subscribe if you're into album reviews, track reaction reviews, music news, anything like that. Give this video a like, and anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you all for watching this video. As always, thanks to Infinity on Hannah for these awesome designs. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can click right over there to catch up on more content on this channel. If you want to see a previous video that I did, you can click right over there to see that video. And if you want to follow any of my social media links, they are linked down at the bottom. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you soon.